The price of family honor. The twin moons of planet Valoria shine brightly above the purple mountains. Deep in the city of Luminar, a quiet house stood at the edge of the glowing forest. Inside, Zyra sat in silence. Her long silver hair fell over her shoulders as she stared out the window. The stars looked peaceful, but her heart was not. Her mother cried in the next room. Her father sat at the table, holding a red crystal, a symbol of death on their planet. It was glowing, which meant time was running out. "We have only 7 days," her father said. His voice was low and tired. "If we do nothing, they will take everything." Zyra looked at him. "But what can we do?" He didn't answer right away. He placed the crystal on the table. "There is only one way. You must marry." Zyra's eyes widened. "Marry? Who?" Her mother walked in slowly, her eyes red from crying. "A human," she whispered. "A powerful man from Earth. His name is Commander Aiden." Zyra stood up, shocked. "A human? But I've never met him." "Why would he want to marry me?" Her father looked away. "It's not about love, it's a deal. If you marry him, the debt is forgiven. Our family will be safe." Zyra felt like the air was pulled from her lungs. "You want me to marry a stranger? From another planet? Just to pay your debt?" Her mother reached for her hand. "Zyra, we didn't want this. But we have no choice. They gave us an offer. We either send you, or we lose everything, our home, our name." Zyra turned away, blinking back tears. Outside, she could see the sky changing colors. A spaceship would arrive tomorrow. She had 1 night left on her home planet. The next morning, the city was quiet. No one came to say goodbye. Zyra wore a long blue dress, the traditional outfit for an arranged bond. Her father placed a silver pendant around her neck. "This will remind you of home," he said softly. Zyra didn't speak. She just nodded. The spaceship landed outside their house. It was sleek and silver with glowing blue lights. The door opened slowly and a voice echoed from inside. "Zyra of House Mirian, your transport awaits." Her mother hugged her tightly. Her father kissed her forehead. Zyra took a deep breath and stepped onto the ship. Inside the ship, everything felt cold and silent. A robot assistant guided her to a private room. There were no windows, just white walls and a soft seat. "You will arrive on Earth in 6 hours," the robot said. "Please prepare yourself. The human ambassador will meet you there." Zyra sat down, her heart heavy. She touched the silver pendant on her neck. "I don't even know him," she whispered. Why would he agree to this? A small screen turned on in front of her. A message played. It was short. "I look forward to meeting you, Zyra. I hope this marriage will bring peace between our people. Aiden." Zyra stared at the screen. His voice was deep, calm. He didn't sound cruel, but something about it made her uneasy. He sounded too perfect. The ship finally landed on Earth. The doors opened and the air felt warmer here. The sky was blue and tall glass buildings reached into the clouds. It was nothing like Valoria. A group of humans stood in a line, dressed in black and silver suits. At the center stood a tall man with short dark hair and sharp eyes. "Commander Aiden," the robot said. "Your bride has arrived." Zyra stepped forward. Aiden looked at her, his face calm. "Welcome to Earth, Zyra," he said. "You are safe here." Zyra nodded slightly. She tried to hide her fear. Aiden offered his hand. She hesitated, then took it. His hand was warm. His touch was gentle. For a moment, Zyra felt something strange, like a quiet spark. Was it fear? Or something else? As they walked through the tall white hall of the embassy, Zyra kept looking at Aiden from the corner of her eye. He didn't smile, but he didn't seem cruel either. Still, something felt off. He was too quiet, too controlled. She remembered her mother's words. This marriage is a deal, not a love story. But inside, Zyra began to wonder, why did her heart feel like it was starting a story anyway? And what secret was hiding behind Aiden's calm eyes? The dream came before she opened her eyes. Zyra was standing in a dark forest. The trees whispered in a language she didn't know. A man's voice called her name, soft, distant, familiar. She turned, but no one was there. A sudden light flashed, and the forest disappeared. She woke up. The room around her was bright and quiet. White walls, soft lights, strange air. Earth air. For a moment she forgot where she was. Then she remembered the marriage. The debt, the human. Zyra sat up on the round bed. A soft knock came at the door. "Zyra," a robotic voice said. "The ambassador is waiting." She stood up slowly, her heart racing. Today she would meet him properly, the man she was forced to marry. The man who might own her future. The Earth Embassy was a large glass building, shaped like a crystal tower. It floated slightly above the ground, held by invisible energy. Human guards in black armor stood like statues at every door. Zyra walked down a long white hallway, her steps quiet, her mind louder than ever. What if he is cruel? What if he sees me as property? The door opened ahead. A soft wind brushed her face. A garden. Indoors, full of green trees, flowers, and small birds. In the center stood Commander Aiden. He was not wearing a military uniform. Just a simple black shirt and gray pants. He looked normal, but powerful, calm, like a still lake. Zyra stopped a few feet away. Aiden turned toward her. "You slept well?" he asked. His voice was the same as the message. Calm, deep, strangely gentle. Zyra didn't answer immediately. She nodded. "Yes, thank you." He motioned toward a bench. "Walk with me?" They walked in silence at first. Aiden looked around as if he was trying to show her something. "This garden was built by both human and alien hands," he said. "It's peaceful, isn't it?" Zyra looked at a glowing blue flower. It reminded her of home. "You don't speak like a soldier," she said quietly. Aiden looked at her. "I used to fight, now I try to make peace." Zyra asked the question she feared the most. "Why did you agree to this marriage?" Aiden stopped walking. His face didn't change, but something in his eyes flickered. "There are things bigger than us," he said. "Peace between two worlds needs sacrifice. You were offered. I accepted. That's the truth." Zyra's heart sank. So it was just a deal to him too. But then he added softly, "Still, I'm not a man who treats his wife like property." Zyra looked at him again. His face was honest, strong, but something was hidden behind those eyes, something he wasn't saying. Later that night, Zyra was shown her new room. It was large and beautiful, filled with Earth technology. A soft voice spoke from the walls, offering food, music, and light levels. She chose darkness. She stood by the window, staring at the Earth sky. It was beautiful, but not home. Just then, a light blinked on a small console near the bed. Message. Received. From an unknown source. Zyra touched the screen. A hidden message played in her own language. "Zyra, you are not safe. This marriage is more than a deal. Watch him. Trust no one. Especially not him." The message ended. No name. No face. Just fear. Zyra stepped back, her chest tight. She had just started to feel a strange safety near Aiden. Now doubt returned. Later that night, unable to sleep, she wandered the halls. The lights followed her steps. She passed empty rooms, quiet halls, locked doors. One door blinked red. Access denied, but she heard a sound from inside. A low humming. Machines, maybe voices. She leaned closer. Suddenly the door opened. Aiden stood inside. "No expression. You're not supposed to be here," he said. Zyra stepped back. You're curious. That's normal." Behind him, she saw something, screens showing stars, alien maps. And her photo. "Why is my face there?" she asked. Aiden didn't lie. "You're important," he said. "More than you know. You'll understand soon." He walked past her, calm as ever. Zyra stood frozen. "Important? Why? What is he hiding?" She didn't know what scared her more, the message warning her about him, or the strange new feeling in her heart every time she looked into his eyes. The mirror spoke her name. Zyra was brushing her hair in her new Earth room when the mirror flickered. Not once, twice. Then it whispered, "Zyra, he's watching." She jumped back, heart pounding. The voice was soft, female, not robotic. It came from inside the glass, then disappeared like smoke. Zyra stared at her own reflection. Her breath fogged the mirror slightly. The surface was still quiet, but her heart wasn't. Who was that voice? And how did it know her name? The morning, Aiden was gone, no explanation. No note. A human assistant named Lena brought Zara her breakfast, a pale woman with half her face covered in smooth metal. Commander Aiden is in a meeting, Lena said flatly. Zara looked at her. Why? Does this house have so many locked doors? Lena paused. Because many things here are not meant to be opened. That answer made Zara even more curious. Lena placed a cup of green liquid on the table. Drink this. It helps calm your nerves. Zara didn't touch it. Instead, she asked, Do you trust him? Commander Aiden? Lena's human eye looked away. That's a dangerous question. Zara stood up. Why? The assistant's voice dropped into a whisper. Because the last person who asked that disappeared? That afternoon, Zara walked through the embassy alone. Her footsteps echoed against the shining floors. Security drones floated silently above her. The walls were full of human history, pictures of old wars, great leaders, symbols of peace, but behind peace, there was always control. She found herself back near the locked room from the night. Before, the one with her photo inside. This time, the door didn't blink red. It was open. R. Inside was dim light and rows of screens. One showed her walking in the hallway. Another, her sleeping in bed. Another, her first moment stepping off the ship. She was being watched. The whole time. Suddenly, a soft voice behind her. You? Weren't supposed to see this. Zara turned fast. It wasn't Aiden. It was Lena. Her half-metal face looked even colder in the dark room. You're not safe here. Zara, Lena said. Zara stepped back. Why are you telling me this? Because I once loved someone too, Lena said. And they were taken by this system. Zara's voice cracked. What is Aiden hiding? Lena's human eye blinked. You think he's human, but he's not. Fully. That night, Zara didn't sleep. Her mind ran wild. The mirror voice, the surveillance, Lena's warning, and yet, Aiden hadn't hurt her. He hadn't controlled her. In fact, he was the only one who looked at her with softness in his eyes. But were those eyes real? Next morning, she saw him again. Aiden was in the garden, holding a small red flower, the kind that only grew on Valoria. How did it get here? Do you miss home? He asked, not looking at her. Zara didn't answer right away. Why are there cameras watching me? Aiden's hand paused. He looked at her now. To protect you. Lena said I'm not safe. Aiden's jaw tightened. Lena shouldn't have spoken to you. She's broken. Zara felt a sudden fear. So you're saying she lied? Aiden didn't say yes. He didn't say no. Instead, he placed the red flower in her hand. This flower was brought here for you, because even in a place built on lies, some things can still be true. Zara held the flower. Its scent reminded her of her childhood, running through bluegrass fields, chasing light birds. For a moment, her anger faded, but the fear remained because truth on this planet was hard to trust. That night, another message appeared on her screen. No name. Just a line. The marriage was never about peace. It's a test. And you are the subject. Zara stared at the words, cold crawling up her spine. A test? For what? She looked at the flower on her table, still fresh, still red, but now she didn't know if it was a gift or part of the experiment. She woke up. But she wasn't in her room. Zara opened her eyes to a soft blue light above her. The ceiling was smooth, glowing gently. The air smelled different, metallic and cold. She sat up fast. The bed was not hers. The walls were not hers. She was in a white chamber, shaped like a circle. No windows, no doors. Just silence and one thing written on the wall. Subject number 212. Emotional phase. Day 4. Her heart stopped. Subject? She touched her neck. Her silver pendant was gone. Suddenly, the wall shimmered. A hidden door opened. Aiden walked in, but his eyes looked different, not angry. Not soft. Empty. Zara stood up fast. Where am I? You're safe, Aiden said calmly. This isn't my room. No, this is the truth. Zara stared at him, shocked. What do you mean? Aiden didn't blink. You were chosen, Zara, not because of your beauty, not because of your family's debt, but because your species has something we need to understand. Zara stepped back. This marriage was never real. Aiden's face twitched, the first sign of emotion. No, he said. It became real, but it didn't start that way. He walked to the wall and touched a panel. A screen turned on. It showed video clips. Her ship landing, her meeting. Aiden. Her sleeping. Her crying alone, her smiling for the first time. Every moment recorded. Zyra's voice cracked. You were watching everything. It was necessary. Aiden replied. The project is called Integration, Love as a Bridge. We needed to test emotional bonding between humans and high-sensitivity alien types. You tested it with me? She shouted. You were the perfect subject, he said. Kind, curious, honest. Zyra felt tears burn her eyes. And you... what are you? Some kind of machine? Aiden looked down. For a moment, he didn't speak. Then he said, I was part of the first hybrid program. Half human, half enhanced. My emotions were limited, controlled. But I saw emotion in you, Zyra said softly. In the garden. In your eyes, I wasn't programmed to feel, he whispered. Until I met you. Silence filled the room. Cold, heavy, real. Zyra turned away. Her hands were shaking. So what happens now? You tell your bosses I passed the test? No, Aiden said, stepping closer. I shut it down. She looked at him, confused. I broke the rules, Zyra. I wasn't supposed to tell you. I wasn't supposed to feel anything for you, but I do. Zyra's voice trembled. Why should I believe you? Aiden reached into his pocket and held up the silver pendant. I kept this safe, because it reminded me of who you are. Not a subject, not a number, a person. Zyra stared at the pendant. Her hand reached out, but she stopped. I don't know what's real anymore? Just then, a red alarm lit up the room. A robotic voice echoed. Security breach. Unauthorized emotional interference detected. Subject will be removed. Aiden's eyes widened. They found out who? Zyra asked, panicked. The people funding the experiment. They want you gone now. They'll erase your memories and send you back. Zyra's blood turned cold. I'm not going back. Then we have to run? Aiden grabbed her hand. This time, his grip wasn't robotic. It was desperate, warm, human. He led her through hidden tunnels beneath the embassy. Pipes, lights, machines buzzing overhead. Zyra ran behind him, her heart racing, not from fear now, from freedom. Where are we going? She asked. To the outer zone. I have a ship hidden there. Won't they follow us? They'll try. As they climbed into a black escape pod, Zyra looked at him one last time. If this is still part of the test, tell me now. Aiden shook his head slowly. It was, but not anymore. The ship powered up top of them. The stars waited, quiet, infinite. The ship was bleeding, not with blood, but with sparks. Smoke and warning lights. Zyra clutched the wall as the escape pod shook violently through Earth's atmosphere. Wires sparked above her. The control panel screamed with red symbols. Aiden! She shouted over the alarm. We're losing power. Aiden gritted his teeth. He was piloting with one hand and holding a burning cable with the other. They found us faster than I thought, he growled. They've hacked the ship. Zyra looked around, panic in her chest. Then what do? We land. Even if it kills us. The pod crashed into a dark forest at the edge of the outer zone, a no-man's land between Earth cities and alien colonies. Trees with black leaves towered above them, and the air buzzed with strange insects. Zyra climbed out of the wreckage, coughing. Her arms were scratched, her hair full of ash. Aiden followed, limping slightly. The ship was dead, but they were alive. Barely as night fell. They made a small camp near a broken satellite dish. Aiden wrapped Zyra's wounds in silence. She didn't look at him. Not yet. Finally, she said, How? Did they find us? I don't know, he said. But someone gave them our location. Someone close. Zyra froze. Her voice dropped. Lena? Aiden looked at the fire. She was damaged, but loyal. I trusted her. Zyra remembered Lena's warning. Don't trust anyone. Was that a warning or a trick? Suddenly, a rustle in the woods. Zyra jumped to her feet. A voice called out. In her native language, Zyra, daughter of House Mirian. She turned fast and gasped. A group of Valorian warriors stepped out of the shadows, wearing black armor and carrying electric spears. Their leader was her cousin, Kale. Zyra, he said coldly. You are to come home, now. Zyra stepped back. Why? My debt is paid. Kale's face twisted. No, it never was. Your father lied. What? He sold you to both sides? First to Earth, then to us. You're not just a runaway. Your property. Aiden moved forward. If you take her, I will stop you, Kale laughed. You think this half-human toy can protect you? He raised his hand. Take them. A battle exploded. Aiden moved like lightning, faster than Zyra had ever seen. He fought with fists, stolen weapons, even broken branches. Zyra ducked and dodged, her heart pounding. Then one of the warriors grabbed her. Something snapped inside. A pulse of blue energy exploded from her body. The warriors flew backward, screaming. Zyra stood shaking, her hands glowing, her eyes wide. Aiden stared at her. What was that? Zyra fell to her knees. I don't know. They escaped. Again into the woods. Later, as they sat under a broken tree, Zyra spoke in a low voice. I felt something in me. Like fire, like a voice shouting from inside. Aiden looked serious. You've been changed. Your time here, the experiment, the bond between us, it awakened something. Zyra stared at her glowing hands. What am I becoming? Aiden whispered. Maybe something new. But even as they rested, a new message played from a tiny broken drone nearby. It crackled to life and spoke with a voice Zyra knew, her father. Zyra, you were always meant to bring us power. Whether through marriage or war, do not run, daughter. You were built for more. Zyra crushed the drone under her foot. She looked at Aiden. I'm done being used. No more running. Aiden nodded. Then, we fight. Zyra looked up at the stars, glowing cold above them. She didn't know who her true enemy was anymore. Earth, Valoria, or her own blood. But one thing was clear. The girl who left home in chains was not the same anymore. She found her father's face in a memory she didn't remember living. Zyra was standing in an old memory chamber, a place Aiden found in the ruins of an abandoned Valorian ship. The machine connected to her mind, pulling buried thoughts from her blood. Then, a flash, a child version of herself. Her father kneeling in front of her, smiling but not kindly, like a merchant. Not a parent. You'll make us rich, little star, his voice echoed. You'll save the family. Even if you don't want to. The memory faded. Zyra opened her eyes, her hands shaking. He hadn't saved her. He had sold her. Outside the chamber, Aiden waited silently. His armor was scratched, his eyes tired, but he still stood like a shield. Zyra walked up slowly, her face pale. You knew, she whispered. Didn't you? Aiden didn't deny it. I knew parts. I didn't want to believe the rest. My own father, he never intended to bring me back. I was a coin in his pocket. He used you, Aiden said softly. And so did Earth. Zyra looked into the distance, voice cold. Then we're both experiments. You, a half-made soldier, me, a daughter-turned-weapon. Later that night, they found an old satellite station. Aiden boosted its signal to hack into Earth's hidden archives. Zyra watched in silence as video files opened, documents labeled, Subject 212, Compatibility Trials. One file played a secret conversation. Does she know? Not yet. When the emotional link stabilizes, we'll remove him. Let's see how she breaks. Zyra covered her mouth. They plan to take you away, she whispered. After I trusted you, Aiden turned to her. I fought the program, Zyra. I broke it. But was your love ever real? She asked. Aiden looked into her eyes. I didn't know how to feel before I met you, but now I feel everything. Even pain. As they prepared to leave the station, a soft hum filled the air. A silver drone hovered in. It projected a hologram, her cousin Kale. Zyra, return now, and we will spare him. Refuse, and you'll lose him forever. Aiden stepped in front of her. It's a trap. But Zyra's eyes burned. No, it's a choice. They went anyway, to an old Valorian shipyard floating above a toxic ocean, a place where ghosts of her people once lived. Kale waited inside, holding a device that could shut down Aiden's neural core. One press and the human half would live, but the other half would be erased. Why do this? Zaira demanded. Kale sneered. Because love makes you weak. We needed you to become strong. Now choose, cousin. Him, or your planet. Zaira raised her hand, and the glowing energy from before surged again, stronger this time, but Kale pressed the button. Aiden dropped to his knees. Eyes wide in pain, Zaira screamed, and the entire room shook with blue light. She collapsed beside him, hands shaking. Aiden, stay with me, please. His voice was fading. You made me real. Don't let them take that away. Zaira kissed his forehead, then stood up, her voice cold, clear, and deadly. No one takes anything from me again. She destroyed the core unit with a single blast. Kale escaped in the chaos, but the shipyard began to collapse. Zaira carried Aiden out, fire in her veins and fire behind her. They didn't speak until they reached the trees again, miles from the explosion. Zaira stared at Aiden, still weak but alive. His synthetic sighed. Quiet now, I'm sorry, he said. For everything I was built to be. Zaira held his hand. I don't care what you were made to be. I care who you chose to become. The sky above cracked with thunder. A new signal was coming, louder, stronger. Zaira and Aiden looked at each other. They had no home now. No family. Only the truth and each other. The war began with silence, not fire. Not shouting, just silence. Zaira sat beside Aiden under the ruins of an old tree, its black leaves falling like ashes. Morning had come, but the sky was still dark, not from clouds, but from the shadows of warships above, Earthships, Valorian cruisers, all pointing at each other. Waiting, watching. And deep in the sky, a third signal pulsed. Unmarked, unknown, unstoppable. Zaira looked down at Aiden. He was resting. His synthetic system still weak after the shutdown. His human side had kept him alive, barely. Why don't they stop? She whispered. Why do both sides still want control? Aiden opened his eyes slowly. Because they don't believe something real can come from something designed. She smiled faintly, sadness in her eyes. Then we have to prove them wrong. He touched her hand, fingers slow, shaky. Zaira, they'll come for us. All of them. You don't owe anyone anything. She stood. I owe us something. They climbed the ridge overlooking the battlefield. Drones circled. Mechs moved like giants across the sand. Airships charged their cannons. And then a new broadcast began on every screen in the sky. Zaira's face, live. She had hacked the network. She spoke calmly, standing beside Aiden, to both Earth and Valoria. I was not born for war. I was not built for peace. I was designed to be sold, shaped, and silenced, but I chose something else. I chose love. You called me an experiment. He was your weapon. But we are more than your programming. We are not a bridge between species. We are a fire, and if you try to control love, love will burn you down. Then the sky opened, the third force arrived, ships made of dark glass, no flags, no signals. Machines and minds united, the creators of the experiment. The ones who made Aiden and Mark Zaira since childhood. They had come to collect their test results, or erase them. A voice echoed in the sky, deep, cold and mechanical. Phase complete. Dispose of the rogue units. Zaira looked at Aiden. Ready? He smiled weakly, always. The battle was chaos. Zaira stood in the center, glowing, levitating, her alien power fully awakened. Her eyes burned with white fire. She bent metal with her hands, disarmed warships with thought. Aiden fought beside her, bleeding but fearless, protecting her with his body, his code, his love. Together, they tore through the machines that made them. Then, silence again. Smoke. Flames. The battlefield lay in ruins. And in the middle of it, Zaira held Aiden in her arms. He was broken, human heart strong, synthetic side dying. You'll live, she whispered. He smiled faintly. You already saved me long before this. A tear fell from her eye. I don't want a world without you. His voice faded. Then make a world where no one is built to be owned. Aiden's body went still, but Zyra's power flared, not in anger, but in purpose. She raised her hands to the sky, not to destroy, but to send a message. To every ship, every city, every corner of both worlds. We are not machines, we are not deals. We are not your tools. We are your future. Years later, legends would say she disappeared that day, with a light so bright. No, I could follow, but the war ended, not with a treaty. With understanding, a story that began as a transaction ended as a revolution. Some say Zyra died with Aiden, others say they lived together beyond the stars, but everyone agrees on one thing: love wasn't part of the experiment. It was the error that rewrote the system.